It's always a pleasure and gain listening to Dele Farotimi speak. Let's listen to this speech he granted when he was asked what three things are non-negotiable by the young people as long as Nigeria must work for them. Let's listen. Thank you for watching. This is May 28 TV.
Democracy advocate and public intellectual known for his fearless stance on justice, accountable governance, and social reform in Africa. Fearlessly speaking truth to power. We've heard some of his story, and he'll be talking to us, giving us his own perspectives on the topic for today. Thank you so much. All right, let me just start. Africa in 2026. We're looking at political leadership and governance. What is the end product? The Africa you see today, let's take from where we're coming from. 25 years back, we have longer history than that, but just look at 25 years back. The Africa, are we happy? Are we proud of what we've done? Let me start with Mr. Farotimi, please. He's far away from me.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
The answer to that is very simple and straightforward. We failed, woefully. And the evidence is all around us. We needn't look too far. Everything suggests that we failed, very woefully. If you want me to start delving into the substance of that, I'm happy to, but it was a pretty straightforward question. Yes. How well have we done, Abby? We failed.
All right. I'm sure there will be some good bits here and there, some good things that we will have. We'll hold the thoughts. Let's take the question to the next. Mr. Farotimi, your non-negotiables from the leader. You've said quite a lot, and everybody knows where you stand on these things, but three non-negotiables. If a young person asked you, what are your expectations? What will be the end product from leadership?
It is my own firm belief that purpose influences design, and it is the end to which you intend to put a system that should influence the way you design the system. One of the basic non-negotiable for me is that the Nigerian state should be subjected to the rule of law. That is far from the case today. We are a nation governed by the whims and caprices of men. And because of that, one of the first things that do not happen in Nigeria is that the law does not rule in this country. So the first thing for me is that the law must rule. It must bound me as a citizen, quote and unquote, because I become a citizen only when the law rules. When the law does not rule, I remain the victim, subject to the whims and caprices of small men who think only of what they'll eat here and now and no more. Second thing, a state exists solely for the protection of the lives and properties of those who live within its boundaries. In that most basic of way, Nigeria has failed woefully. 39 children, some younger than 2 years old, are exposed to the elements. And those are the ones we know. People are being carried every day whose stories never make it to the newspaper or anywhere. Families make arrangements for ransom and burials without publicizing it. The Nigerian press will routinely ignore that it has happened as well. So, rule of law, security of lives and properties, and then justice. Even though it might seem like it's divorced from the first, they are linked, but they are also distinguishable. If the law is ruling, it simply means that the judges look to the law, not to the persons involved. And only the law should be the basis for the interpretation and adjudication of cases. Those are my minimum irreducibles.
All right, this brings me to the issue of strength in institutions, how strong your institutions are, the issue of institutions, the strength of the institutions of a country. Some countries are doing better than others in terms of...
You know, because it's a follow-up to the question I addressed, I would love to just respond to that quickly.
All right.
Your institutions are only as strong as the capacity of the law to rule in the space where the institution exists. Where the institutions are not subjected to the rule of law, but they are subject to the whims and desires of men, you can never build an institution that lasts in that fashion, which is why the EFCC today is more feared by Yahoo boys and the poor young man who is just carrying his dread up and down the place than by the politicians who brazenly steal our commonwealth. It is only in Nigeria you would have an anti-corruption agency and a person caught on camera wearing dollars becomes the chairman of a political party. Compromised persons occupy all levels of government offices, and we are talking about building institutions. What kind of institutions have we built? The absence of the rule of law has already compromised every institution that should uphold the state.
Mr. Farotimi, the children are watching, they're right here. Holding leaders accountable, asking the right questions, knowing what to expect from their leaders. What would you say to them? For me?
I think one of the first failings of Africa and of Nigeria is responsible for the question that has been asked of me just now. If there is an overarching vision behind which the people are being mobilized, that overarching vision is what would inform the system. By the system, the governance systems would be designed around the overarching vision that the leadership of the country is pursuing. Look at the theme. What is the end product? The end product is the function of a vision. The end product informs the system that will be designed. It informs the education curriculum that she just spoke of. Everything is designed around the vision. In the absence of vision, perversion reigns. And what we are always complaining about, lamenting about, discussing just now are the perversions. Yeah. So if the children, we always lie to you, we say you are the greater tomorrow, but your greatness tomorrow is dependent on your capacity to unpack the lies that we tell. One of the lies we have told you is the illusion that you are citizens. Understand that for you to be citizens, you need to live in a society that is governed by law. The one in which you live is not governed by law. And that is what is responsible for all of the abnormalities you see around. So, the only thing I'm going to say to you is insist, as you're growing up, insist on fidelity to the truth. And part of the fidelity to that truth is the lie they tell you that you are citizens. So if once they tell you you are a citizen, insist that the law must apply to you and it must rule in your relationship with the state and amongst yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, let's just take it down.
You know,